Hello there, this is Ben Fournier of Benevolent Psychorum. Here's Proverbs 10:17 in cognitive functions. He who takes note of teaching is a way of life, but he who gives up training is a cause of error. As for functions, I'm going to venture SI and TE, perhaps either ISTJ or ESTJ, with more likelihood for ISTJ as the perceivers first with SI hero. Some days I wish I had completed my accounting degree, and yet it still feels like at least the particular college I went to was garbage, and it was all a scam. Could be more useful to have a degree for employment, and yet I hate even the concept of office work. I like writing, especially the creativity of it, but bookkeeping is absolute tedium, and so procedural it probably will be among the first things fully automated in the near future. Currently, I'm trying to find freelance writing work and might be able to do transcriptions, although one site that seems more probable to find work within has an exceedingly narrow constriction of format. I guess it's good to know what's expected, and I'll need to follow the guidelines like a Pharisee, or perhaps a scribe, more accurately. Though if I were to have that as my only source of income for the rest of my life, I feel as though it would kill my soul to lack the freedom. However, if I can afford basics without having to spend 50 plus hours weekly in a sweatshop roasting alive again, perhaps I can set aside some waking hours to focus on writing my novels and eventually make that work, and I'm trying to. I have found other freelance work so far, but yeah. I do need to listen to my editor friend though, which is difficult because sometimes I wish that I could just be good enough per se, and yet I would like sweatshop management if I'd... What? Where did I stop? I do need to listen to what my editor friend says though, which is difficult because sometimes I wish what I make could just be good enough per se, and yet I would be like sweatshop management if I did that relentlessly, ignoring the obvious that there's always room for improvement, especially wherein everything is broken. And you tell some of the managers things aren't working right, and they're like, no, it's perfectly fine. It's like, no, it's obviously not. Anyway, it can be like a reflex to avoid the advice of others, not necessarily because I think they're wrong, but because it means changing everything up yet again. Sometimes it may be out of distrust if I think someone may be deliberately giving bad advice to just watch me fall, though other times I just hate how everyone tries to control me throughout my life. Perhaps some truly care to help and mean well, and yet sometimes formerly good advice may be outdated, like with college and the Bennett hypothesis since around the late 1980s. What was far more useful and affordable has been turned into a mere format, a hollow shell of what it once was, and filled with landmines of exponential interest loan sharking extortion and indoctrination into deleterious philosophies. Jobs that used to be able to support a family are now starter jobs, and everyone has to work themselves into early graves to barely afford mere survival basics. It is still best to accept good teaching and good advice, but only if it is good. So yeah, probably ISTJ. Anyway, take care everyone, and try not to go crazy.